So as we're wrapping up this little series, a couple of things came to mind that we should look at to kind of finish up our game and wrap things up a little bit nicer. One thing is, if you created your win scene here, I went ahead and I used the preview image as a background image just to give it a little bit more depth. On the last video, I just put in a solid color and had the text "You won" and "play again." So now it has just a little bit more feel. I could have created a tile map and all this stuff as well, and you could too, but this image was available in the folder, so I went ahead and used it and just to kind of class up the design a little bit. And now when the player presses play again, you go to the next level. But if you haven't created your opening scene, that's where this should go. So I went ahead and I created a start scene here. It says Pixel Platformer Game with a start button. And on this one here, the event sheet, I'm using the same objects as the one scene, where I'm going to go ahead and use that button text and the scene button there as well, just to reuse objects as much as I can. And so on here, if I was to go from here to start the game, then we want to make sure that we're getting to the correct scene itself. I have two images going on, so that's why it's changed there. So I'm going to fix that real quick. Is that I put two images in this background, the two different thumbnails, and what's happening is on the animation, I have the speed set to 5, so I'm going to go to 0 on the speed there. That will prevent the images from changing. There we go. If I press the button, I go into my level 1 and I'm ready to go. We also want to make sure this is the first scene that runs, because we can actually preview the project. Doesn't matter what level we're on. If we go to View Project Properties here on the startup, first layout is that I want to go to the start scene as the very first layout. And so even though I'm on level 2 here, if I go to preview the project, it'll start from the very beginning. I can press start, go into the first game. But that's very, very fast transition, so let's fix that a little bit. So on the start scene is that the scene, the button text here, the button text, I'm going to go ahead and add a flash behavior. And then on this start scene is that I'm going to start the flash on the button text. It's going to flash for 1 second. Make that go first, and then I'm going to wait for 1.5 seconds. The reason why I'm waiting for 1.5 seconds is because we need to allow the flash behavior to finish running for its full second, and then I'm going to wait an additional half a second to go on. So let's take a look and see what this looks like. Is that when I press the button here and then into the game. So there's a better flow into the game itself. I'm also going to fix that for the one scene here. So I clean this up a little bit. I'm going to open up those event sheets, and I'm going to provide the same functionality. So that 1 second on the flash, and then I'm going to provide a 1.5 wait time. But this time, I don't want to go back to level 1. I want to go back to the very beginning. So you play it again, let the player go back to the very beginning. So I'm going to go ahead and right click and I'm going to edit. And I'm going to change this one to the start scene instead. Save my work. If I go to the one scene here, and I press play again, flashes, send me back to the very beginning for the player to play again and into the game here. So what else I noticed that we can fix is that on the template, there is a background image, but on levels 2 and 3, we never included a background image. Now, Kenny has a background object here, so we could use that same image if you'd like on all 3. That would be the simple approach. So on level 2 here, I can take the background, drag and drop it in. It's the same size as the previous. Obviously, I need to move this to the back, so I'm going to right click and I'm going to go to Z order and send to bottom. And there I have a nice sky background in that level as well. Save my work, go to level 3, and I can do the same thing here again. Put the sky background, Z order, send to back. And there we have it. So we added just a little bit more touch to our game by providing that background image as well. Now, one thing that I notice is that it doesn't matter what level you're on, the player really doesn't know what's going on. There's no indication as far as what to do. Obviously, on previous games that you may be playing, you know to collect objects and kind of move around in the scene, but we have an objective we're trying to accomplish. The player needs to collect those items. So let's create some sort of text that's going to show up, display the information to the player, and then fade away as we go. And we can start this on level number 1. So I'm going to go ahead and right click, insert new object. I'm going to go to the text object, and let's just call this instructions. I can provide this, and for our instructions, we're going to say collect all the coins and reach the flag to exit the level. There we go. Some basic instructions for the player. And then this could, I'm going to go ahead and center this sort of right in the middle of the scene itself, or maybe off to the side there or something, wherever you want to have this show up for the player. I'm also going to add in the fade behavior on this. So I'm going to add the fade behavior and the fade out time. So I'm going to give this a 5-second fade out. Let's see what this looks like. So as the game starts, over 5 seconds, that's going to go ahead and fade away. So that gives the player enough time to read the message and figure out what's going on, because we don't have a time limit, so that's okay. So we have that there. I'm also going to go to level 2. I'm going to grab the instructions. I'm going to put this into level 2 as well as level 3. So that way the player knows at all corresponding points. If I was to preview the project, play the game, I'm going to have that message show up to collect all the coins and reach the flag to exit the level. So I've got some information there. And we're just going to go ahead and verify from this simple level here. If I collect it, I'll move on. Then that's going to go ahead and fade away, collect all the coins to reach the flag and exit the level. Perfect. So now we've had some final touches on this game, adding just a little bit of extra detail to allow the player to understand what's going on, provide some detailed graphics to your win scene as well as your start scene to get the player to start and to finish. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next series.